Good morning. Welcome to Reading the Science of Mind in 1 Year. I'm Reverend Rafe, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader of the Center for Spiritual Living Common Ground in Central Maryland. Today is July 14th. So let's get started with our reading and see what comes alive in us to discuss. Here we go. Reading for July 14th, Science of Mind, A Philosophy, a Faith, a Way of Life by Ernest Holmes. Reading from page 294, paragraph 1, through page 296, paragraph 1, using inclusive language. The Law of Attraction, Thought Atmosphere. Spiritual mind healing is a result of the constructive use of a mental law which the world is gradually beginning to understand. Since we are thinking beings and cannot stop thinking, and since creative mind receives our thought and cannot stop creating, it must always be creating something for us. What it will make depends wholly upon what we are thinking, and what we shall attract will depend upon that on which our thoughts dwell. Thought can attract to us that which we first mentally embody, that which has become a part of our mental makeup, a part of our inner understanding. Every person is surrounded by a thought atmosphere. This mental atmosphere is the direct result of our conscious and unconscious thought, which, in its turn, becomes the direct reason for and cause of that which comes into their life. Through this power, we are either attracting or repelling. Like attracts like, and it is also true that we may become more attracted to something which is greater than our previous experience by first embodying the atmosphere of our desire. Taking as the starting point the idea that the essence of one's life is God, it follows that they use the same creative process. Everything originates in the One, comes from the same source, and returns again to it. As God's thought makes worlds and peoples them with living things, so our thought makes our world and peoples it with our experience. By the activity of our thought, things come into our life, and we are limited only because we have not known the truth. We have thought that outside things control us, when all the time we have had that within which could have changed everything and given us freedom from bondage. Everyone automatically attracts to themselves just what they are, and we may set it down that wherever we are, however intolerable the situation may be, we are just where we belong. There is no power in the universe but ourselves that can free us. Someone may help us on the road to realization, but substantiality and permanence can come only through the consciousness of our own life and thought. One may bring themselves to the place in mind where there is no misfortune, no calamity, no accident, no trouble, no confusion, where there is nothing but plenty, peace, power, life, and truth. They should definitely, daily, using their own name, declare the truth about themselves, realizing that they are reflecting their statements into consciousness and that they will be operated upon by it. This is called, in mysticism, high invocation, invoking the divine mind, implanting within it seeds of thoughts relative to oneself. And this is why some of the teachers of olden times used to instruct their pupils to cross their hands over their chests and say, "Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful me," definitely teaching them that as they mentally held themselves, so they would be held. Act as though I am, and I will be. One of the ancient sayings is that to the one who can perfectly practice in action, all things are possible. This sounds like a contradiction until one penetrates its inner meaning, for it is only when one completely practices in action that they arrive at the point of the true actor, for they then realize that the act and the actor are one and the same, that cause and effect are the same, which is simply a different way of saying, know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. To reduce the whole thing to its simplest form, whatever one reflects into mind tends to take form. Okay, let me wake up and actually get with the program. Now I'm unmuted and the fan is off, and we'll try this again. I think I need more coffee. So, what I was actually talking about is the first sentence in the second paragraph. Thought can attract to us that which we first mentally embody, that which has become part of our mental makeup, a part of our inner understanding. And it uses the word atmosphere, and I would submit that that's a great definition of our mental atmosphere, or those components. Mentally embody becomes part of our mental makeup, a part of our inner understanding. Um, and then he points out that conscious and unconscious. And that's the part that really compels me to continue to study and to examine and question and take apart my own belief systems on a continuous basis, because I know, that to use that image of the iceberg, right? I know what's above the line, and I know there's a lot operating below the waterline. We call them hidden beliefs because they're hidden. And so my opportunity, your opportunity, is to put on our spiritual scuba gear. That's how I envision my spiritual practice, a spiritual scuba gear that enables me to dive below the surface and explore that part of the iceberg, that part of my thought, the unconscious stuff. And the best way, the best, the most informative, let me put it that way, the most informative um, action is just to pay attention to what's right in front of me, because whatever is showing up in my life is reflecting my beliefs. Um, and yes, beloveds, it's way more comfortable to blame that on somebody else. It just is. Um, and it doesn't make it accurate. But what it does do is completely disempower us from changing it, right? If I give you the power of my thoughts, then you're the only one that has the power to change them. And I have learned to appreciate power within me to change my thinking and change my life. Um, I love what it says here, um, although it's a bit hard to hear. Um, One of the ancient sayings is that to the one who can perfectly practice inaction, all things are possible. This sounds like a contradiction until one penetrates its inner meaning, for it is only when one completely practices inaction that we arrive at a point of the true actor, for we then realize that the act and the actor are one and the same, that cause and effect are the same, which is simply a different way of saying, know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. To reduce the whole thing to its simplest form, whatever one reflects into mind tends to take form. If we want peace, we have to be peaceful. If, I am infinite intelligence in form, but if I believe I'm stupid, I behave stupidly. uh, if I believe I am less than, then I behave in that manner. And sometimes we don't know that's what we believe until we see our behavior reflected back. And what I can tell you in personal practice is that as hard as I made it to look honestly, undefendedly at every aspect of my life, it instantly, two things, it instantly became easier when I stopped telling myself how hard it was. And when I finally just owned without defensiveness, without justification and rationalization and all the whys it is the way it is, to just say, yes, this is what I'm doing. Then the thoughts that were creating that doing became instantly available to me. I didn't even have to ask why I was doing it. It just came into my awareness. And what also came into my awareness was the option to do something different. And I approached it from, and I invite you to approach it from doing something different, to stop making yourself wrong and stop trying to make yourself right. Just recognize what I'm doing is less desirable than I want. I want something different. So just do something different. And then you get the feedback about, you get to experience that. That's your feedback loop. And then you get to choose, is this what I'm really wanting? Or let me try something else different. It's a much, my experience, it's a much lighter, peaceful way of change than the right and wrong paradigm that my experiences just beats us up. So, something for you to consider. Just try different. Okay, with that, I'm going to take us into our time of meditation and contemplation. It's simply 5 minutes of practice to just practice being present with whatever comes, with what is. And then I will close us out with a spiritual mind treatment for the day and bid you adieu. Here we go. Recognizing breath as the infinite substance, breathing itself. One life, one power, one presence, one breath, one mind, one. By whatever name we call it, it is beyond a human concept of a name. It simply is the isness of all, fully present every moment, every place, seen and unseen, in our awareness and what is yet to be in our awareness. God, Buddha, Allah, the great mystery, universe, nature, whatever we call it, it is that and so much more. Indefinable, unlimited, and yet fully available to be experienced. Unchangeable, changeless, because it already is everything. Infinite possibility, unlimited by form. And being the singular substance of all creation, I know that it is diversity. Beyond being diverse, it is diversity. It is the atmosphere available to me. Because it is me. It is itself expressing as me. I am it in form. And yet, the human me shows up as less than. Because I don't know what I am. And so I practice and I learn and I uncover and I embrace and I live in this persistent, ever-present invitation of discovery, of self-discovery, of discovering the hidden parts of conditioned thinking that I get to change. Hidden parts of the magnificence of creation that I simply experience with awe and wonder, that I get to embody. I get to choose over and over again. I choose. And I get to choose to own that I choose. And it all becomes so circular. It's so gloriously perfect. I get to just be. And I get to allow my beingness to inform my doingness. First, I be. I, I affirm the truth of being. I affirm that what is true of me is true of all creation. Every expression of it. To know the truth of being beyond the thought atmosphere that we each create, we each choose. I choose to know with absolute certainty that the presence and power of this infinite isness is always present in every single iteration of creation. Everyone, everything, every place. And I am grateful. I am grateful for the truth that sets us free. I am grateful for the endless opportunities to see and choose proof and truth. I'm grateful for the doer within the creative process that teaches me that unfolding is not my job. Clarity is my job. Love is my job. The unfolding of it all is the operation of creation, this lawful process that responds the same to every desire of this infinite isness to experience itself. That reminds me that I am a portal of that. That my job is clarity of heart, mind, and that the doer does the unfolding. And it does it instantly. And so I know that the word spoken this morning is the word already fulfilled. That faith demands that I know the fulfillment before I see the product. So I choose faith. And I choose celebration of completion. I choose to feel the yes so that I can see the yes. And knowing that it's already done, knowing it's complete, I can relax. I can let go of all of the angst. I can let go of any idea of human control. Making myself available for divine guidance. And let go of all doubt. I just let go. Let life be life. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amen. Amen. And so it is. Namaste.